Hey, my beautiful and sweet Kit Kats. I have always wanted to attempt to dye fabric, paper, things like that with avocado skins and the seeds inside. I've never done this before, so we're gonna try it together today. And I've just kind of laid out a few things that you will need. You will need some sort of a large size pot, depending on how many skins you have, a sieve or some sort of a strainer. You definitely need some avocados, so if you are not an avocado lover and don't eat them, maybe you can find a friend or family member to save them for you. You can either let them sit out and just dry out. What I did here as I was kind of saving the seeds is just put them in the freezer. We love some guacamole here, so I made that with my avocados today, and I think I have enough to start a small batch of this liquid. Then you're going to need just a bit of baking soda. I don't know exactly how much. We're just gonna kind of play around and see what happens. Some fabrics, if you want to try to dye those. I have some lace, some doilies, a little bit of a darker lace, and then just some different papers, envelopes, regular copy paper, and cardstock. First thing that I think we need to do, from what I understand, is put our peels and our pits into our pot. So these are the ones that I used today. You don't even have to clean them out super well. It doesn't matter. You're gonna place them in your pot. I didn't realize that you could do it with the skins also. I thought it was just the pits. So I had only been saving those from prior times of having avocado. So, whoops, a little bit of a mess there. Don't worry if they're not super clean. I'm gonna put these in as well. They're from my freezer. They have kept beautifully for the months that I've been saving them. We're gonna cover our pot with tepid water, or fill our pot, I should say, just right up and a little bit over our pits and our skins. And then I will come back and show you again. Okay, I have my pot filled. I have put basically room temperature water just so that it's a bit above the skins and the pits here. We're gonna turn on our burner, and we're gonna bring this to a simmer boil from what I can best understand. So I'm gonna give it just a bit. I will come back and record that portion so you can see, and we will go on from there. Okay, we have come to a boil. That's what you wanna do. Get it to a boil as quickly as possible. And at this point, we're gonna add a bit of sodium bicarbonate, also known as baking soda. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. I've never done this before. By adding the sodium bicarbonate, the baking soda, it changes the alkalinity. So this is to produce a darker pink, reddish color. If you're looking for more of a softer hued pink, you would skip this step. And now that we have it coming to a nice boil, we are going to turn down the heat and let this simmer at about a half an hour to an hour. I'm gonna come back here at 30 minutes from now and we'll take a look at it and see how far we've come. Okay, it has been exactly 30 minutes and I'm just giving this a check. It's been simmering here. It looks like it's working and producing a nice color. I think I definitely want this to be a bit more rich in color, so we're gonna go another 30 minutes and come on back and see where we're at and continue that process. Okay, my sweet friends, it has been another 30 minutes, so 1 hour total that this has been simmering. Looks like I forgot a tag here. You can kind of see that beautiful color that we have. So what I'm gonna do at this point is take out the skins and the pits. I'm gonna use a little tongs here. Apparently these can be composted if that is something that you do, and I'm just putting them into a little dollar store throwaway metal pan here. And then you want to have your sieve or your colander that doesn't have very wide holes or anything like that in it, because then we are going to pour off that mixture that we just created. Ooh, one of the pits came right apart here. We're gonna pour off this mixture, get rid of all those little bits as best as we can. And then we'll be putting in our items into that mixture. and seeing what they do. So this is really fun and exciting. Never done anything like this before, but I love using something that we already use for another purpose and being able to kind of use it again to do something fun. If you are a crafter, this would be fantastic on your ribbons and your lace. I think you could also do this to t-shirts, any type of material. Again, this is the first time I'm doing it, so I'm just kind of experimenting here. Do not worry if you have any kind of floating bits and things in here. It's no problem at all. So I'm going to continue to take everything out of here, and then I'm going to strain this off and come back and show you what that looks like. So here it is. This is my colander. I just lined it with a few paper towels and poured off the remaining liquid so that we can try and get all of those little hunks and bits out of there. You could use a little cheesecloth in the bottom of your sieve or your colander. Whatever you have that works. I'm sure if you don't have something, you could probably pick it up fairly cheap at possibly the dollar store. So I'm gonna finish draining this here, and then we're gonna come back and put in some of our items. Right, there is our mixture. Still a few little bits and bobbles floating around in there, I think is okay. So we're gonna start loading this up. I just have this poured off into a 13 by 9 baking tray. Definitely put gloves on or you will stain your fingers. And we're gonna just load this up with our goodies. I'm okay if not all of it is covered. I have some paper tags here. I'm gonna set those down in. Just some regular envelopes, white ones. I have some small ivory envelopes we're gonna put in there. I have a little doily we're gonna sink down into the solution. Please be super careful, it is super hot. I have a longer envelope here. Right, then I am definitely a lace lover, so I have just a nice amount of white lace here. I have another ivory colored doily. I have some stiffer white lace. We're gonna push that down into that solution, and then just a remnant piece of lace that I got from a thrift store. So we're just gonna push that down, be super careful, wear some gloves unless you want your fingers stained pink or red. Look at how beautiful that color is. From what I understand, it is best to leave this sit overnight. So that's what we're gonna do. I will come back tomorrow and reveal how all of this looks and what my plan is for drying, and we'll take it from there. All right, we are back with my solution outside. This is what it looks like having set overnight. I've taken out a few pieces of ribbon, some fabric, a few of the papers, and I set just a few of these super fragile doilies on top of that paper. We'll see what happens when it dries. So I have just a little tong here, and you just carefully, or you get in there with your fingers, I think is the best because it is so fragile, right? Oh, this piece is over the top, I see. Pull this out, and we're just gonna lie this over here. It's a beautiful day in Wisconsin, so I think these will dry rather quickly. And I'm just gonna keep repeating this process. I think it's totally okay if you get a little tear, no big deal. That's a little cardstock paper, but that color is just gorgeous. So that's what it's looking like so far. I'm going to continue that process and come back and show you what they look like dried. Okay friends, here is everything all dry and pulled out of our solution. our different laces. It's amazing to me, the different variations of color, our cardstock and our copy paper. Some of these that were sitting at the bottom of my container, got some of these dark spots, kind of like it. There's our doily, some more little pieces of cardstock, a few tags, and while the tags were wet, I took these paper doilies and set them on top the tag and let them dry outside in the sun. And I got a really pretty little imprint on a few of those. So that could be something to experiment with. Another doily back there. Those lace strips. Some smaller envelopes. Again, different variations, or if they were touching each other while they were drying. So I think we could definitely experiment more with that. Just some pieces of fabric so I could kind of see how that went. And then that remnant piece of lace. I think they all turned out super fun, so pretty. I can see me doing this again most definitely. And the remaining solution that I did not use, I just put it in a mason jar with a lid on it and stuck it in my freezer. So next time you want to do some, you pull it out, bring it back up to a simmer, turn off that heat, pour it into your container, put your pieces in, whatever it is you're looking to dye, and you should be good to go. Hope you guys enjoyed this.